Hi, good morning. This is Anna Crowe with the Get Real podcast, where CEOs, CMOs, and communications experts share their real advice. It's 6 questions under 9 minutes because we get to it real fast. So let's get to it. I'm really excited to have our guest on today. Elijah, in just a few sentences, could you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. My name is Elijah Schneider, and I'm the CEO of Modify.
Awesome. And tell me about Modify.
So Modify is a social media marketing agency. What we focus on is growing brands through authentic connections in addition to high performance within advertising.
Wonderful. And authenticity is something we're going to discuss shortly, so I'm glad you brought that up. What would you say is the best thing about being a leader in your industry?
I think that there's a lot of leaders in my industry, and I think there's a lot of people in my industry. But I think standing out as a quote leader within it really allows for me to have the platform to share our opinions as a company. We are a younger company, not only within age of the corporation, but also the people within it. So now giving us this platform, allowing for us to show the success that we've had in addition to our opinions, has been really something we've enjoyed, being just an overall leader within the industry.
I love that. And you bring up such good thoughts around authenticity. I hear from other successful executives and leaders that creating those authentic connections, whether it is with customers or your team members, can be challenging with all the noise today. What's your take on that?
I completely agree. I think right now more than ever, there's a lot of fog out there where it's hard to see through. And really, I think the best thing that somebody could do is just be who you are and be as authentic and real as a human being you can. I think being as a leader, you need to be compassionate for your team and understanding right now. Uh, there's a lot of anxiety and stress in the world. I've heard it from members of my team in addition to just friends of mine who work at other companies. And really just being able there to have a real human conversation. I think that's the biggest thing, knowing that you are there for your team and that you understand.
Right. And everything is so fluid that things that may have worked last week may not be working this week. Right. And just being
Exactly.
open to that. Yeah,
That's
that's
why you can't do it by policy, just have to do it by nature.
yeah, absolutely. And that's great advice. What other real advice you'd like to share? Something else that you think is important?
I think it kind of goes back to the same thing in regards to making connections with your team and consumers. Uh, right now, more than ever, you need to be who you really are. It's not the time to be online promoting yourself as this best thing in the world. It's really all about, can you make a difference in today's society? And on top of that, can you actually make a difference within your own company?
Mm-hmm.
So just hard, concrete advice to people right now is to be authentic. Don't use social media like it's 2018, 2019, where it's time to promote your travel and uh, luxurious vacations, but use it as a platform to share your opinions, your thoughts, what you're doing, so you can potentially help somebody else during this time of quarantine, or maybe if you're unemployed, how you're looking for jobs, things like that.
Right. And maybe not even use it like you would have in February 2020, right?
Yeah, very true. Not that long
So
ago.
yeah, not that long ago. Wonderful. What other successful executives such as yourself would you like to give a shout out to or you think should be on this podcast?
I think that Ryan Berman from Courageous Brands would be great for this. He's very inspirational as a leader to everybody I know, in addition to maybe a Jason Harris from Mechanism. Both are strong leaders within their industries, very good overall people, and I think that they can not only make a difference with anybody listening, but within the communities they already are.
Yeah, that's great recommendations. And I'm familiar with Ryan's book, so I'll be sure to reach out to him. And then our final, more of a fun question. I always like to hear where people came from and, where they got their start. So would you mind giving us a little background about your first job? It doesn't have to be a career job. It could be any job. It could be your first job out of high school if you want, but I would love to hear about that.
I actually love this question. I've done a few podcasts in the last month or two, and this was by far the best question I've seen on anybody's. So my first job, I was 14 years old or 15 years old, and it was actually making sandwiches at Subway. That's what it was.
Wow. And any takeaways, big takeaways from that first job?
Actually, yeah, it's weird when you think about it. Most people look at that and they're like, "Oh, you're just making sandwiches." you learn a lot. You learn how to multitask. You learn customer service, how to communicate in addition to doing something at the same time. Uh, just basic communication skills within a working environment, even if it's making sandwiches or making social media campaigns. Communication is the number one most important thing, in my opinion. So I think that really did help, actually.
No, that's great to hear. And I agree. I think the food industry teaches us a lot, especially at a young age with regards to customer service and the customer being right, but also how to communicate with people. So that's great insight. Well, Elijah, I really appreciate you being on. How can people get a hold of you?
People can get a hold of me through the Modify website, which is wemodify.com, or on Instagram at my personal Instagram, which is Elijah Schneider with 2 R's.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is Anna Crowe with the Get Real podcast. For more insights, visit us at crowepr.com. Thanks so much and make it a great day.